All right, Matt the Mortgage Guy here. Wanted to create a video talking about how to win a bidding war on real estate. In 2021, as anybody who's been in the market knows, it's very hard to get an offer accepted, often 10, 12, 15 offers on these houses that are, one, priced well, two, show well, and in desirable neighborhoods, right? So not all houses have bidding wars, but those that do, people want to know, how the heck do I get my offer accepted? In today's video, I want to go through this article because I think it touches on literally everything I've said in the past 3 months and 6 months on how to get offers accepted in a competitive market. And so it really hits the nail on the head. I'm going to walk through and discuss what was talked about in this article, my feelings on it, what I'm seeing in my personal business, talking to dozens of agents, dozens of buyers every single week. So before I get into it, do me a favor, hit like, comment on this video, subscribe, do all the things that help the YouTube algorithm. If you have something to share from your market, I love hearing it in the comments. I love people commenting down below, hey, I'm in this market, here's what's going on. Hey, I'm in this market, here's what we're seeing. Because then I get to get a feel for what's happening nationwide, not just in Northern California in my market or other surrounding markets where I'm doing business, other parts of California. So anyway, without further ado, let's jump right into it. This broker, who's from Portland, Oregon, I believe, wrote this, how I won a 20 offer bidding war for my client. Move my face over here. I'm going to go through it and tell you my thoughts. It's just basically talking bidding wars have become a common occurrence in many markets across the country. This is in Portland, Oregon. I'm in Sacramento, California. Tons of markets in and around Sacramento, similar type stuff. Tons of markets in and around LA County, Orange County, San Diego, where I'm doing business, similar type stuff. And this, Redfin's always got good data. They're really good data. 70.4% of homes faced bidding wars in May. So that tells you something, right? If 7 out of 10 are getting multiple offers, you should probably have this stuff in mind. Whether you're an agent or whether you're a buyer, here's the type of things you want to keep in mind on what to do when inevitably 70% of the time you're going to be up against multiples. And I've said this before, while some houses only get one offer, some houses only get two offers. If you're in a neighborhood that's desirable and the house is desirable, it looks nice, it's priced well, all that stuff, then inevitably you're going to be up against multiples more often than not. So the first thing she talks about is make room in the budget to go above the asking price. Here's what I do with my clients. Pre-approve them, and they're pre-approved up to $550 or whatnot. I tell them that, they're going to talk to their agent and get feedback from their agent. They're going to go look at stuff that's listed at $479 because later down in this article, it talked about expecting stuff to sell 7 to 10% above the list price. That's probably accurate for what I'm seeing in Sacramento, for what I'm seeing with my clients. And I've got data from Ryan Lundquist, SacramentoAppraisalBlog.com, that kind of backs that up, where it's landing. A lot of stuff between 1 and 5% above ask, a lot of stuff between 6 and 10% above ask. That's where a majority of stuff is landing. So just think about that in advance. If you're trying to buy something around $550, look at $479 to $499, knowing that you're going to bid $540, $550. And all my buyers are always going to see multiple price points, what their payment looks like, what their total cash to close looks like. And then I'm going to tell them, speak to your agent about how much you're going to have to offer. And you've got my Excel spreadsheet. You've got all the information in advance on what that's going to look like payment wise. And so this is really good advice, is, making room in the budget to go above asking price. If you're approved up to $500,000 and you start looking at houses that are listed at $499, bad way to go about things. You're going to be sorely disappointed when your realtor goes, oh yeah, this one's going to probably go for $560 or $565. And if you don't qualify, that's worst case scenario, right? But with a great lender and a great realtor, you're pre-approved up to $500. You should start that, home search in the $430, $440 range as far as list price goes, knowing that it's going to go above list more often than not. It talks about, in Portland, the single family market is, buyers are hungry. There's not many homes available. This is common, right? This is pretty much most areas of the country. As a buyer, you have to be decisive, work quickly, and aggressive with your pricing and terms. Sometimes I don't think people really understand what this means. But after they've been out and been putting in offers, they get it. Sometimes it takes a little while, right? So if you're a buyer, rather than failing your way to knowledge and having to put in 2 or 3 offers before you figure it out, or see a house that you really like and wait 6 days to even go view it, know that before you even get started. The stuff that's really nice, the stuff that shows well and is priced correctly, is going to go quick. So if it's listed on a Thursday, go see it on Saturday and consider whether you're going to write an offer that day or the next day. Don't let it go a week or a week and a half, because chances are it's going to be gone. So know your finances in advance. And I say this a ton, right? That's how you're decisive. I know what the financing is going to look like. So when I go see that house, yep, we're willing to write at 540. I already know what the loan looks like. I've played that scenario through my head. I've used the Excel spreadsheet that Matt sent me, or whoever your lender is. Have an idea of exactly what 500, 525, 550, or whatever price points you're looking at. Have an idea what that looks like before you even walk in the house. That way you walk in, your realtor calls the list side and asks what she thinks it's going to take to get an offer accepted. And then when your realtor says, yeah, you should offer 550 and you have a shot, you offer that right away, because you don't have to go back and, well, we got to consider what that's going to look like on the mortgage. You already know, right? So looking at homes with the expectation that they're going above ask. This is her talking about her client. And, all clients are kind of expecting and accepting that, right? This is going to go 7 to 10% over asking. I think that the buyers that are really tuned in just know that, right? And a lot of buyers I've talked to recently, on our initial conversation, we're looking in this range. We realize we're going to have to bid above ask. We realize we're going to have to waive the appraisal contingency, all that stuff, right? And so they're expecting it. And here's another big one I talk about all the time, and it was brought up in this article and really summed it up really nice. Once her client decided that they were going to make an offer, she reaches out to the listing agent to make sure the price range was competitive. And like she talks about here, it's no use in saying, hey, we're going to write at 530 because that's what we think will get the offer accepted, without talking to the listing agent. Because if they've got offers at 580 and you're writing at 530, you're wasting your time as a buyer, as an agent, everybody involved, right? And so you don't want to tell someone to go ahead and spend the time writing an offer and getting their buyer's hopes up if you know they're already 50,000 under an offer you've received. So these agents talking, although it doesn't always happen, is a really, really good piece of advice in this article. Agents should talk about not only price, and they're not going to tell you the exact price, but they'll tell you a range, the price they should be playing in, right? And they'll say something like, does it need to have a 6 in front of it if it's listed at 559, right? And they're like, oh, for sure, we've got offers in already above 600. Okay. And give yourself an idea of where you need to come in at. Also right here, what terms are most important to their client? Besides the price, do they need rent back? Do they need it closed quick because they've already, accepted, got into contract in something in Tennessee or in Texas, right? And so, like she says in this article, they might come back and tell you that price is the most important. And really, I think price is one of those things where it's generally going to always be important. The thing is, what is second, third, and fourth most important, which can be waiving the appraisal, so they have some certainty that you're not going to, back out if the appraisal comes in a little bit light, and free rent back, things like that, right? Closing relatively quickly. So she talks about that here: rent back, and closing quickly. So be both the highest bidder and the best bidder. And in here, cool, because it's a shout out to the local lender. The highest bid is great, but to have the whole package, it's not just the highest bid, but it's the terms that the seller likes, and then being able to close relatively quickly or close with certainty, right? Sometimes it's not even quick. Sometimes it's like, we need to know that we're going to close. And so also important to the sellers was a fast closing. Having an agent who has relationships with local lenders who can get you done quickly makes a difference in a deal. A trusted local lender can call the listing agent personally and give them a time on the closing process and reassure them the buyer has strong financing. This cannot be emphasized enough. Literally had a conversation this morning where put in an offer. I was able to call and give a little bit of color to the situation, right? Yes, great W-2 income. Yes, great credit. Yes, they're going to be able to close in a timely fashion because their deal is just so strong, and it's just a really well packaged loan. You know us, we close loans, we have a great reputation. That gives the sellers the warm and fuzzies. I'm telling you, a lot more than some no-name lender that they never heard of, and they just have to hope and pray that the thing's going to close. Not the best strategy, right? So, best price, best terms, local lender. That's really a recipe for success in general. And then she also added some stuff, creating emotional connection, which I thought this was kind of cool. She offered 621 865 because 865 was the address. And so it showed like, hey, we're offering an amazing number to you, but it's this specific house that we like. It's not just that we're trying to get in a house. It was this. And so whether that made a difference or not, I think it was kind of cool. And lastly, I think in this article was this prepping buyers for the competitive market, having a must-have and a nice-to-have. And this is where I get to implement my 80-10-10. If you're looking at homes, and I hope I don't butcher this. The 80-10-10 rule is like it's 80% of what you want, 10% of it you can change, and 10% of it you can learn to live with, right? I want 3 bedrooms, and that's a must-have. I'd love to have a place where I can do a home office. I'd love to have a big backyard. Love to have a nice kitchen. If it's got 80% of the stuff you're looking for, and 10% of it is like, the kitchen isn't nice, but I can upgrade it. And then the 10% you can learn to live with. Like I didn't necessarily want to be a mile and a half from the freeway, but I am. Things like that, right? The 80-10-10 rule. 80% of what you want, 10% you can change, and 10% you can learn to live with. That's what I've heard before, and I just thought it was really good because you're never going to find the perfect place. Some stuff you're going to have to change and make it your own. Some stuff you're going to have to learn to live with. And so yeah, that's it. Prepping buyers for a competitive market. Not going out there and falling in love with something that doesn't have your must-haves, right? So hopefully this was helpful, whether you're an agent, whether you're a buyer. If you have any questions for me, if you're in California, matt@mattthemortgageguy.com. If you're outside of California and looking to get a home loan connected with a great broker, greatmortgagebroker.com. You'll see that I set up that domain especially for referring you to a great broker who's licensed in the state you're looking. Thanks for watching. Appreciate you. Bye-bye.